Good morning, Sagittarius, and welcome to Getting Ready for the Week Ahead. This is just your heads up to what may be coming in the week ahead and how you can get ready for it. And it's a little heads up in everything. So we're doing the theme, the little details, your relationships, what actions you might need to take. And thank you so much for the support. I'm so excited. And welcome. This is a channel just for Sagittarius. You may be dealing with a Sagittarius, or even you may find that these energies affect different placements that you have in Sagittarius. I am a Sagittarius sun and moon, and so I feel like I'm uniquely qualified. My name is Heidi, by the way, and if you're looking for personal readings, you can find that in the description. And for the relationships portion, I actually am going to be doing an extended. So we're just going to take a brief overall look at it. And if you want to know more information, my extended readings are always $6, and you can follow that link. Let's get to it, Sag. And by the way, don't forget about 8/8, y'all. The Lionsgate portal, it is like the kind of like the best manifestation day of the year. And then we have the Venus star point on the 13th. Yeah, let's get stuff. Get money, Sag. So, Sagittarius. Okay, so, it kind of feels like a big week for you. Alright, so your vibe, Sag, is decisions. So, and since we're seeing go the distance, and that's 11, I feel like, there may be a lot of changes coming in, but I feel like from your standpoint, you may be trying to make decisions. Now, Sagittarius, let me give you your astrological warning. We are in, like, a lot of these retrogrades are not a big deal because they happen for a lot of months of the year. But we are in the shadow of Mercury retrograde, and it is going to overlap with Venus retrograde. You want to be mindful of making major life decisions. I mean, it's good to have a plan or ideas, but I would avoid, if possible, making major life decisions on money, on relationships, and even starting new relationships. Like, just don't commit, y'all. Yeah, it's a great time to get to know someone, but I mean, I just think personally, it's before it. You may want to wait until it's over, and that is in September. Is that really a big deal, right? Okay. Okay, so let's get started. And the theme of the week is go the distance, which I really feel like is that Sagittarius big picture energy, right? You may be thinking about the future, what's going with you, what are the things that are going to last, what's going the distance, right? And I feel like you're heavily thinking about that. Now, what was on the bottom of the deck was milk and honey, here and now, and flexible and thinker. So I feel like you may be thinking a lot, especially by the book there, about how you do things, and because this is about your success. So you may, and I have seen this, in terms of even myself and others, really thinking about expectations. And Sagittarius, you may be feeling the need to be more flexible in things, right? And you're thinking about, it's really interesting because I feel like you're thinking about, you're in the present moment, but you're also thinking about the future, about where you're going, about what you want there, right? Because with going on around you is come to the edge, which is full energy, and all that glitters, right? And you may even be looking at your decisions and saying maybe some things that you jumped into didn't turn out that great. So maybe you're not going to jump anymore. Like maybe you're going to really give things more thought. Which is never a bad thing, Sag. Never a bad thing, but at the same time, you know, calculated risks are great. I feel like you may be overthinking about the chances that you took didn't pan out as well as you thought, and that has really affected like how you move into things. You're not being impulsive, we already know that, but sometimes when you decide you're not being impulsive, you can almost pull back too hard, because sometimes in life we got to take chances even if they don't turn out right. But you're learning a lot about you know, what's going to be with you long term. So you really, I feel too like you're really thinking about decisions you've made. It's interesting. Okay, so minor detail, Sag. So we're seeing archway, new opportunities, possibilities, and paths are opening up, and we are in a time where a lot of change is happening, and you may be starting to see it. And I hate to say it, Sag, especially that's why I've mentioned Mercury retrograde. Watch your words. It's in Virgo, okay? And it's very comfortable in Virgo. Very much so. But in Virgo energy, you know, we have to be careful about, you know, how we're saying things. Are we telling people how to do things? And if we are we getting angry about it? Because there's a bigger chance during Mercury retrograde for misunderstandings, and it's really affecting mutable signs. So really keep that in mind. Is this really making me angry, or is it the energy? Questions to ask yourself. Grasshopper, situation in the balance that requires careful handling. I feel like there are conversations coming in that you're really going to have to be careful about. You know, but I do see that one thing that is, you are really relying on your intuition this week, which is really good. You're trusting it. You're trusting it to guide you, actually. So that's really fabulous. So how you can be ready for the week ahead is, I mean, Three of Wands, you're ready for new things. You're ready to move forward. You're also ready to wait. Because with the Three of Wands, there's always a delay. Like, you know the universe is bringing this in for you. And kind of this is a time to get clear. This is a time to overcome, like, because we're seeing the moon, which has to do with fears and the unknown and what is hidden. And, you know, I feel like you are in this space where you're not going to let that stand in your way. You may be overcoming fears at this time in terms of knowing how things are going to work out. And with the Knight of Wands, this is about being fearless, which is interesting because the energy around you is about calculated risks. So I feel like you're not going into it afraid, but you're also not going to jump blindfolded, so to speak. Ace of Swords, Knight of Cups, and the Four of Swords. I feel like you are going to be very wise when it comes to your words. Because you may be realizing the truth about a love situation, but you're also realizing that you need to speak from a space of love. And if you can't, then you're just going to not say anything at all. basically. So let's take a little look at relationships, and then we'll get your advice here, Sag. Yeah, interesting, right? Here we go, Sag. Love call, healthy choices, engagement ring, that's pretty serious, grounding. I feel like you may be hearing from someone, and they're clearly thinking about you, okay? I feel like they have maybe been withdrawn because they've been just trying to focus on doing what's best for them, and now they're ready to come in. you know, it could be someone telling you about an engagement, but this is completion, right? I feel like this may be someone who feels like now they're in the space where they're ready for commitment because, you know, grounding is here, stability and security. This person has really been kind of working on themselves, is what I feel. And so they may have been holding back. Yeah, because on the bottom, this is a runner. This was someone who operated from a space of fear and probably was afraid of commitment, and really, like, they were out there. This person was running the streets, you know, and you may have been really upset with this person. Okay, you may have been really upset with this person, and, you know, but they've been really working on their boundaries. They've been working on, and they kind of have been avoiding talking to you until, I feel like until they could come at it from a healing space and knew exactly what they wanted to say. Yeah, this was someone definitely you mirrored. But there is definitely conversation coming in and moving into a better time. But we will see what that conversation is all about in the extended. All right, Sag. That's a lot, isn't it? So let's save these cards. Okay, Sagittarius. So let's see how you can be abundant this week. How can Sagittarius be more abundant this week? Sagittarius. How could Sagittarius be more abundant this week, you think? How could Sagittarius be abundant this week? What is Sagittarius as abundant? Oh, see that? It just flew across the room. Okay. This is definitely talking about money. You have the power to heal and help the world with your decision to buy only products and services that are ethically and environmentally friendly. I feel like it's asking you to really be careful about what you spend money on, to be conscious with your spending for sure. That's interesting, Sag. And quiet retreat. I feel like this is really telling you to watch the money you spend. You know, to really think about what it is you're buying. Because we do like to spend money, that ain't no lie. So what would help Sagittarius this week? What would help Sagittarius this week? What would help Sag? What would help Sagittarius this week? And it's so funny because you'll see even financial experts say things like, you know, don't keep things that don't hold meaning for you. And I feel like that's what you may be thinking when it comes to money, and not buying things that don't align with you, which is beautiful and kind of spiritual, right? What would help Sagittarius this week? Reading. Whatever questions that you have that you want answered, Sagittarius, you may be finding it in a book. Interesting. So I feel like they're telling you reading would help you this week. So I'll tell you what book gave me a lot of answers. The Four Agreements, and I talk about it a lot, but I'm telling you what, that book changed my life. So what does Sagittarius need to focus on this week? What does Sagittarius need to focus on this week? What does Sagittarius need to focus on this week? Oh, pay attention to the signs and L's. I mean, our wisdom, of course, but also they do stand for new beginnings. What does Sagittarius need to focus on this week? Dig in and see it through to completion. You may be being shown signs, especially since we were seeing to go the distance, about things that you need to stick with, not give up on. Yeah, boy, Sag. That is interesting, isn't it? So we're going to finish this off with inspiration. So what is the inspiration this week for Sagittarius? Inspiration. I feel like someone here feels like they are able to offer you stability. I was just hearing it. And they weren't before. That's interesting, isn't it, Sag? Okay. What is the inspiration this week for Sagittarius? What is the inspiration this week for Sagittarius? The inspiration. Akasha. Isn't that funny, because we were talking so much about the Akashic Records yesterday? Your guidance is divinely guided. So you're being, like, whatever it is, the direction you're going, if you feel like you aren't on the right path, you definitely are. And just know that everything that's happening, all of these steps are being guided. And all you have to do really is listen. Sag. Because the information is in stillness. And every time you feel guided in a certain direction, know that you're being pushed. You're being nudged, Sag. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Wow, this feels so North Nodey. So it may be very different and not without its own measure of I don't want to say pain, but when we are purging, when we are, it's kind of like everything's changing. And so, the universe is really freeing you up, and just know that what you're leaving behind and where you're going is what was meant to happen. And you're still figuring it out, because where are you being called to journey to? You're still figuring it out, but just trust that you're going to be given the information as you go along. And that is Queen of Wands energy, y'all. It is. Okay, so since we're seeing omens, let's round this off with a sign for Sagittarius this week. What signs will Sag be seeing? What should they look out for? Sagittarius. What is Sagittarius' signs this week? Sagittarius' signs. And let me know if y'all are seeing signs about things. I love that. I've been seeing the numbers like crazy, especially 1010. So I feel like a lot of completion is coming in. Okay. Hedgehog. Wow, how often do we see a hedgehog? I'm not even sure I know what one looks like. So if there is danger ahead, Sag, you may see a hedgehog before that happens to. It's kind of like a warning of something not so great ahead of you. To be... Oh. And 333, you are being supported. Okay. Okay, Sag. So that's what I have for you. And I will speak to you soon. Toodles.